To answer your question, yes, we are two adult women. And yes, we love Bieber, and that's why we're publicly stalking him.
We're crazy.
Hey! Maybe he's what America needs. One nation under Biebs. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We love Justin Bieber, and let us be clear, we're not being ironic at all.
Hosted by Corinne Fisher and Rosebud Baker.
Welcome back, everybody, to Two Less Lonely Girls. I'm Rosebud Baker.
I'm Corinne Fisher.
And, yeah.
We're here.
That is our names.
We are here. We said our names.
Those are our names.
In unison. We did it correctly.
Nailed that part.
We're so fucking good at this.
Good night, everybody.
And that's it. So we'll quit while we're ahead.
All done.
It's good. Yeah, well, I guess we can start with the biggest Bieber update. We should do that this week, right?
Yeah.
So Justin Bieber, as most of you probably saw on Twitter,
has
threatening
challenged
to fight
Tom Cruise to a fight. Man to man.
Right.
Fist to fist. Everybody seems to think that Tom Cruise would win that. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, I don't know. There's like a ruthless. Well, Tom Cruise is also ruthless because I think everyone's seeing him as like the nice, risky business sliding in your socks into the room kind of guy. Right. When really, I think Eyes Wide Shut is a more accurate portrayal of him and the lifestyle he leads. Anyway, that's my own personal thoughts on him. And also, I never trust anyone who's like smiling all the time or really nice or does things like jump on Oprah's couch because he's in love. Like that to me screams serial killer.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think just looking at the stats, that Justin would kill Tom Cruise.
Really?
For real.
I feel like there would
murder Tom Cruise.
There would be something that would thing that Justin would overlook because I feel like he goes about things like without thinking through them, just kind of follows his heart and his spirit, which is part of the beauty of him. But I feel like Tom Cruise would find a way to like hire others to murder Justin, and Justin would just like show up with like a knife ready to street fight, West Side Story style.
But I'm talking in terms of like an actual MMA fight,
right? Like, and if there's no way that Tom Cruise could cheat, it was just two of them in a cage.
If they both just had to fucking prep, you know what I mean? Train, get through it. I don't
know where my phone is because I think Alfred's like, oh yeah.
I think Justin would kill Tom Cruise. Okay, he's taller than Tom. Which means he's got a longer reach.
Right.
And he does have a longer reach. I already looked up like how long their reaches are. And I was like, okay, Justin's got a further reach. He's taller. He's younger.
Okay, yeah. Because I wanted to see exactly how old. I knew Tom was in his 50s. He's 56. That's getting up there.
Justin would kill Tom Cruise. Okay? In 5 seconds. Plus, Justin has all that like meth addict energy. So if he was off the fucking off the sauce for a couple months and he had to put all that addict energy into preparing for a fight.
Oh, so they have time to get in physical shape.
No, yeah, I'm thinking in terms of like this is like an actual like Mayweather versus McGregor type of shit.
Well, the only thing is I feel like Tom has definitely ingested some kind of like vampire / children's blood, and I don't know the strength of that yet.
He's still a 60-year-old man. He's not going to fucking
56.
He's not going to beat Justin.
He could be a little bit more.
There's no fucking way he's going to beat Justin.
Sensitive to those of us who are dating significantly older men.
Listen, his dick doesn't work. It's like searching for cell service. It's just on and off.
God.
No, I truly think that Justin would kill Tom in 5 seconds, and I'm actually really disappointed in the internet for even suggesting otherwise.
Wow. Well, you are so hardcore committed to Justin.
It's not a hardcore. I'm thinking logically. I'm thinking a man in his 20s.
But don't you think there's some strategy
got a longer
involved?
reach, who's got crazy amounts of energy.
Please just know that every time Rosebud says longer reach, she does extend her arm.
I'm just saying, like, he could, dude, Justin can reach across the fucking ring and knock Tom out.
Right.
Tom has to run directly up to Justin's face until they're almost kissing. Yeah. In order to reach his chin. Also, so Tom's shorter. He's older. He weighs more,
Yeah.
which means he's not as quick.
Right.
And yeah, he would just be destroyed. Am I the only fucking person who has paid any attention to MMA?
Well, there is
fact
some
that the internet
strategy
is-
and logic and smarts involved in that, though, and that's the only part where I do have to give I don't think Tom's a genius, but I think he's definitely like cunning and manipulative in ways that I don't think Justin. I think Justin's impulsive.
Yes, absolutely impulsive, and would beat the shit out of Tom Cruise.
Like he would just go fucking.
He would go fucking crazy. Listen,
is
I think
for
Tom would put
everyone.
up a good fight. I think Tom would put up a good fight.
Yeah, he wouldn't just be slaughtered.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's gonna put up a good fight. But
Okay.
I think within 2 rounds, Justin would
How many?
maybe
rounds?
3.
How many rounds is
Well, it just goes until somebody gets
until
knocked
someone
out.
gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So like sometimes the fight will go 13 rounds, like with Mayweather and McGregor.
So 2 rounds. Wow. Okay.
I think within 2 rounds, Justin would destroy Tom.
I would give it 4.
4, and they'd both be fucking exhausted, but Justin would still take it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think Justin exercises?
Yeah. We know he does. He goes to Soul Cycle all the time.
Oh, that's right. But I don't. I feel like that's just because he's bored.
But he also fights. He goes to fight class. He's been going to fight class.
what's fight class?
He's been going to fight class.
Like Rumble.
You know, like Fight Club, but
Well,
where
'cause
you
I was gonna
pay
say,
and get a punch card.
Rumble's like the boxing of Soul Cycle.
Oh yeah, it's like the Zumba of boxing.
Yeah. I would like to do Rumble. It looks fun. Okay. All right.
That's great. Yeah. So anyway, that's the side news, because there is bigger news this week. You had a spiritual experience.
Thank you for noticing that as I posted on my Instagram. So I went on a spiritual retreat.
Tell us all about it. This is something that I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Truly.
I know you are. I can sense it.
I was watching and I was like, I might cry.
Well, I mean, honestly, there are so few times when I show like pure raw emotion or vulnerability, but with the Spice Girls, there's just no way to hide it, because that's my love is so deep.
Yeah.
So yes, I took I'm calling it a pilgrimage to London to see the Spice Girls Spice World 2019 reunion tour. I had promised myself both publicly and privately that if the Spice Girls did not announce US tour dates, I was going to head to London. But as the dates approached, and the Scotland dates passed and the Ireland dates passed, I just hadn't bought tickets. I don't know. I had looked at the prices. I knew all the information. I just was looking at my calendar, and I have a really hard time doing things where I can't just for fun or for pleasure or to treat myself. I just really don't do it. Everything, I even brought the recorder, because I had this plan where I was going to interview fans in line so that I could make it part work. And I went there for Two Less Lonely Girls, which I would have liked to have, but the wind was and the rain was so torrential.
Yeah.
When we were waiting in line, and I did get there 6 hours early, that I just couldn't even bring.
I saw the line
equipment.
content.
Thank you.
Yeah. You looked super cute.
Thanks.
I wish Tommy had worn more of a costume.
Well, there's a reason for that. He couldn't. Well, he would have had to bought it. I actually offered to purchase some things for him, but we made this decision super last minute. He used to live around the corner from me, but he has to go to Pennsylvania for a year for part of his medical residency, because he's getting his PhD in psychology.
Oh my God.
So he has to go live in Pennsylvania. So he was I was over his house picking up some stuff that I had there, because he was moving and packing up. His whole apartment was in boxes. Everything was packed away. And we started drinking, and then he was like, we should go to London.
Is he still with his boyfriend,
to see the Spice
by the way?
Girls? Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right, great.
Many years.
Great.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why did he send you a dick pic?
No. I wish.
Yeah. And so when he said it, I was like, yeah, because I kind of didn't know anyone who loved the Spice Girls in a way that, because I don't want just someone to go with me. I want someone to want to be there.
Yeah.
It's very weird and particular, but I can't have someone fly to London to see the Spice Girls as a favor.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. Yeah, it's like I don't want to meet Justin with someone that doesn't like him.
Yeah, I need the shared enthusiasm, the mania, the fanatic
Yes.
nature. And Tommy inherently has that. That's part of our bond. And so like things like one of his favorite groups is the XX. Like I don't feel the same way about the XX, but I appreciate the fandom, and I will yes and that with pretty much anything as long as it like doesn't go against my morals.
Right.
So like I just love that someone loves someone. Like I like stood in line with Christina when she really wanted to meet Mark Maron. Like I don't feel the same way about Mark Maron, but I was excited because she was excited.
Yes.
And like that's exciting for me enough. And so when he said that and I knew he was willing to go, I was like, oh my, like yes, this is kind of like the nudge I needed, because I just didn't want to like go all the way to London by myself to see this. That was like too much. I'm very comfortable alone, but like that was just a step in a direction I wasn't going.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, because I mean, it was at the point where I told her this, but like the only other like mega Spice Girls fan I know is Caitlin Palufo, who's a wonderful comedian.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of like danced around the subject with her because I was just like, yeah, like I feel like I really need to see them. And like at this point, I would just like fly someone out to see them. And like I kind of danced around to see if she would like lean into it. And she honestly just seemed like, Corinne, you should just go by yourself. And I was like, oh, I guess she doesn't want me to go. Because like I would have been happy to pay for someone else.
Oh my God.
But I wanted them to like, then I just felt like she was like weirded out.
She's like, love yourself.
Right. Because I mean, like, I really don't know her that well.
You're like, I'm kind of ready for a relationship. She's like, I'm working on myself. You should too.
Like, what if some like girl you knew, like just through work, it offered to fly you to London to see a band that you both really liked? How would you feel about that?
I would say yes to it, and then I'd afterwards be like, fuck, why did I say yes to that? Now I'm gonna panic. That's 100% what would happen.
And like you wouldn't want to stay in the same room because you'd be afraid she would kill you, or try to touch your
I'd
boobs
probably
in the
just
night.
stay in the room with her and just be like, even though I don't like this, I'm gonna try to be polite.
But even if it's
Even
a
though
band
I'm
you
scared.
love, it's a band you love that you love, that you stand.
Then it's like,
for.
yeah, obviously I'm gonna do it. Yes, of course, I'm still doing it.
Right.
I'm 100%
But
doing
you're
it.
not enthusiastic in the way
But
that I
I'm
want you
gonna
to be.
regret doing it with that person.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, well, this is an unfortunate part of this, but I have to deal.
Okay.
But also, it's you, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, but you know me on a much deeper level, though.
Right, but like if it was a comic,
okay.
I'd still be down. Because I've stayed with comics that I'm just like, this is disgusting.
Right, and that's part of being a comic. You kind of just hop in a van or in a hotel
With
room
people
or
that
on a
you don't-
couch of someone you barely know.
Dude, I've stayed in hotel rooms with people that are...
Yeah, the amount of times I've confidently gotten into the van of a stranger but felt it was okay because they were, in quotes, a comic.
Yes!
Is alarming.
It's not okay.
It's alarming.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people I've driven hours with. I mean, I just actually did it for a web series I shot a couple weeks ago. Literally just, they're like, it's low budge. Some friend of theirs from college
And
came
you're
to
like-
pick me up, and we're in the car alone for like 2 hours. This is like a middle-aged man I've never met before.
Yeah.
I mean,
You could be being driven out into a fucking gangbang shack. Anyway, so go on. So you get there, you wait in line
I
for
like that
6
we
hours.
somehow even turned this lovely Spice Girls concert into like kidnapping
Yeah.
and sexual assault
I know,
and murder.
I know, seriously.
Nice. Okay, so we went. We did book. We were surprised at how cheap we were able to get round trip airfare. We would later learn that's because Norwegian Airlines is the Spirit Airlines of international travel.
Okay,
I did
good
go
to
on
know.
a real Twitter panic about that. So like we were 1 hour late getting into London, which was I was already annoyed at because I had a reservation at Sketch London, which is a place where you have very famous tea, and it's very hard to get a reservation. Like someone canceled and and I was on a waiting list, and that's how I even got it.
Okay.
But we made it. Don't worry. They did hold the reservation 30 minutes when they said they would only hold it 20 minutes because I called, and apparently people don't call. But anyway, so we did all the things the day one. We had a day in London. It was great. I went to Alfred Hitchcock's house.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I like to just stand outside places where famous people were and take a photo and then move on.
Yeah.
We also did something that I was unable to do last time, and I think serendipitously so because it made so much more sense to do it this time, which was visit the hotel / famous staircase from the the Wannabe music video.
Oh my God.
It's at the Renaissance Hotel in London, which is a beautiful hotel. And I don't know how well you know the music video, but it's like the car drives up,
I know it
they
very
open
well.
the door,
Yeah.
they get up, they do the whole dance on the staircase. So I
know it as
have-
well as I know the front of my high school. Do you know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
okay.
Like that's how.
Yeah.
It's like you remember like pieces.
It's a part of who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in my DNA.
The carpet was, I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it felt I felt so good to be there. And every now and again, like as we were standing there, you would see another Spice fan come up and like take a picture.
Yeah.
And I just feel a real connection.
Yeah.
I feel a real connection when it's like someone from New Jersey, a Spice Girls fan, someone, I don't know, other examples, but those were the two I thought of that I feel connected to. And I had prepared my outfit. Like, again, this was a pretty last minute, but I spent many hours on dollskill.com.
Oh, yeah, of course.
To capture the right look. Because I was like, okay, well, obviously I have to dress as one of the Spice Girls. Posh isn't going to be there. Posh is my longtime, since day one favorite. I'm not mad at her, though. Like, if you were thinking, are you mad at her? I'm not. Any true fan knows that Posh was never going to do this reunion. She did the last reunion. Like, everyone should be thankful for that. Anyway.
Yeah. And were you there for the last reunion?
Yes, I've seen it. They've done 3 different tours as the Spice Girls with different variations of the group. And I've seen every one. So 1998 was the original tour when they were at the peak of their fame. By the time I saw them, Jerry had already walked out on the group. So I didn't see Jerry, which was crazy.
So she was the first one to walk out on the group?
Oh, so long ago. I mean, like I was thinking about it. And like,
why did she walk out?
I mean, she actually just apologized for it during this tour. She thought she was going to be the standout. She thought she was the Justin Timberlake of the Spice Girls. And I spent perhaps too much time thinking about this, but like in NSYNC, like it was very clear there was like 2 hot ones and the rest of them.
Yeah.
But like the Spice Girls, as far as a group goes, are one of the most evenly distributed in talent and likability and performance of any constructed group I can think of.
Yeah.
Like there's not really any one of them that's like, we don't need that one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think there's been times when, maybe Mel C is like a little bit less interesting in the ways that she comes across, because she's the most normal one, like by a landslide. She's the most mentally stable. Like she's the only one I'd probably leave my kids with. But she's by far also the best singer. So no one was ever like, oh, we don't need Mel C, because like you do need Mel C if you want to hit any of the notes.
Right.
So, and that's what I was thinking about, because I had a long time to reflect.
So when she apologized, what did she say?
She
did
said
she
I was
say something on stage while you were there?
She did say something when I was on stage, and apparently she said she went into even more detail later nights, because I was there night 1 of Wembley in London, and basically what she said was the first time the Spice Girls played Wembley, she wasn't there, and she couldn't believe that they did it without her. Like, I don't know if she thought that like her leaving was going to dismantle the group as a whole, but like honestly it kind of sounded like she did think that. And she made her first single after she left the Spice Girls is a song called Look at Me. And if you're wondering,
ironically,
I did wear black to mourn her departure for like a week. Like after I remember vividly the day that she left the Spice Girls. Like I could barely get out of bed. I had I wore like one of those armbands like that the Spice Girls wore when Princess Diana died.
I
in a
know
car
that people
crash.
are probably listening to this and being like, that's crazy, but I totally get it.
No, I mean,
I'm like a day away from doing that about Justin's music career.
Yeah, I mean,
every time he puts out a new keychain.
Yeah, like
I'm just like,
my love for the Spice Girls, and just for some backstory for the listeners, like I am a huge fan in that, I mean, I own over $5,000 of Spice Girls merchandise, which I know doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to understand that's $5,000 that I spent, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. So that's every cent that I had saved, every birthday check, every holiday check, like it was all going to Spice Girls merchandise.
Yeah.
It's not like I spent $5,000 as an adult.
Yeah, no, I mean,
yeah.
You've spent a lot of money on Justin Bieber merchandise for me.
I love merch.
You love merch.
I love a gift shop. And then additionally, for 5 years, I ran an internet fan news magazine, a newszine for them called Wannabe Weekly.
Right.
Shout out. And I have since met one other person online. who listens to both Guys We Fucked and Wanna Be Weekly, and I've literally never been happier.
Yeah.
So Jerry leave the Spice Girls. She like at the peak of their fame. It was like not a smart move. Like right after they had released their second album, which is Spice World, because it's Spice World. They actually didn't do a big Spice tour in America.
Yeah.
They went straight to Spice World because I think it was like the fame was just so happening so quickly.
Right.
And so it's Look at Me, and in the video it features Ginger Spice in a coffin. So it's like she's like saying goodbye to that alter ego and then emerging as Jerry Halliwell, solo pop star. That song did pretty well, and then she did a cover of It's Raining Men, and then this other song called Mi Chico Latino, and like after that it was like that's pretty much it. Jerry speaks Spanish, so that it wasn't just like a weird thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. And and now she's Jerry Horner because she got married, but she apologizes for being a brat and leaving the Spice Girls as the tour ends. And that was her reasoning. But I mean, it's kind of like, that was very clear why she did that. You know? And then because she talked about it right before they sang Goodbye. Right. Because that's the song that they released right after she left, which I think is one of their best songs. Yeah. But yeah, and she talked about it on stage, and there was a lot of tears. Like Jerry cried, Emma cried, but at different
You're
points.
Crying, just remembering
I did cry.
it.
Okay,
her eyes are fucking welling up.
Yeah. So I was like, I knew I was gonna cry. I did warn everyone in my party. We got there 6 hours early. It's raining. It's the craziest wind you've ever sensed. I mean, anyone who's been in London or lives in London, like it rains all the time, but this was like extra rain.
Right.
So I got a hotel. I got the hotel closest to Wembley. Right. There's like two that were within 6-minute walking. I got a room in one of them, and because I wanted to be able to check on the line. And I also had been in this fan group on Facebook about people sitting in the Spice Circle, which is the closest section that you could stand in. Right. Because there's like Spice Circle, and then there's like general admission standing room, and then there's the stadium seating. Right. Wembley seats 90,000 people. They sold it out 3 nights in a row.
What the fuck?
Yes, they still have it. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of the tickets were purchased by like brokers and stuff. Like I ultimately got mine on StubHub because I bought it so late.
90,000 people.
Mm-hmm. And to look out, even as someone in the audience,
3 times.
Yeah, to look out at 90,000 people is incredible.
I know.
Incredible.
I know. When I looked at I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And to be that close, it was such an experience. And all I wanted to do was be the closest. I wanted to be as close to the Spice Girls as anyone else was in the audience, and I achieved that because there's a rim, so it's like I just had to be against the rail at one part, and I did. I chose the side, so it was cool because I got to see them on the main stage, and then I got to see them on these side runways because it was basically like main stage, 2 side runways that they went up and down a lot, and then kind of a runway in the middle separating the Spice Circle from the general admission, which they were calling the pitch. Right. And obviously people had been tracking the concert, so we kind of knew the choreography because we're crazy. Yeah. And so they came up through that midsection separation area. They emerged from the center of the stage, and so that's where the most fans were standing when we got in. Yeah. Because doors opened 3 hours before the opening act, or maybe it was 2.5. The opening act was Jess Glynn. I don't know if you know her. Yeah. She's a great pop star. Great. I had seen her actually in Webster Hall by herself. But I mean, like going from Webster Hall to Wembley Stadium is quite a jump. Right. And she's also bigger in the UK than she is in America.
She's great.
Yeah. She's really, really good singer. I highly recommend checking her out. And so they came out and they started with Spice Up Your Life. I had looked at the set list just to get an idea. And then I didn't look at it again because I didn't want to memorize it. Right. But I just I am disappointed so easily that I just wanted to have a gauge on what I was to expect. Right. And they made some weird choices. Like it's not the set list I would have picked, but I was like, I'm just happy that you're doing
What is
things.
The set list you would have picked out of curiosity?
Well, they just picked a lot of obviously they're going to do like all the number 1 kind of hits, but they just picked like too many songs from basically besides Holler, I wouldn't do anything from the 3rd album because it's just not going to get people up. And there was a lot of like slower songs. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see them do something for like a real mega fan, like a B-side on like a B-side track, basically. I would have
Yeah.
loved to see that.
Yeah.
And there's one, like Last Time Lover, I believe, is a song from one of their 2 hit albums that they have never performed live. And I know a lot of fans would have liked that, to see that. But it's weird because you're dealing with, and it's also weird because like they're singing songs from the 3rd album, but like Jerry wasn't even on the 3rd album. She had already left. And then she's also like singing Goodbye, which is like a song about her leaving. And then it's weird that she's there singing it with them.
Do you think it's because there's 4-part harmonies instead of 5?
Maybe. Well, I mean, they adjusted all the 5 songs too. I don't know. Losing Victoria vocally, and I say this with love, and she would say the same thing about herself, is like the not is barely a loss. Like she's not a good singer.
Right.
She's a dancer who sings. She's a professionally trained dancer who sings.
Right.
Everyone else was just more of a singer.
Okay.
And then Jerry was actually, I would say, neither. She was just a person with charisma.
Right. She just had a lot of star quality.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Real persistent. Yeah. So they come out, and it basically, like, you know how the Spice Up Your Life starts with like la 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 la
Yeah.
la. So I mean, they weren't even over the la la la's, and I was already crying.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't sobbing, but it was like I like kept trying to sing along because it's such a fun concert to sing
Yeah.
along to, and I like would get choked up in my own, and I couldn't sing, and I had to stop because if I kept singing, I would just be full on crying glitter, ruining my own LASIK. Like I just like couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. Oh yeah, and I had dressed. I had originally been like, oh, I want to dress as one Spice Girl, and I was trying to think it was either going to be Baby or Scary. Ginger I couldn't do because I'm mad at her. I'm not mad at her after the concert, but I was going in like a little bit mad at her. And then Mel C is like great, but that's not an interesting costume.
Yeah.
And so I was either going to do Scary or Baby, because like I've really come to like Scary like a lot in these past few years. She's also been the most present in America besides Victoria. I kind of like I met her when she was on in Rent on Broadway years ago in college.
Yeah.
Like I just really like her, and it's more my personality than Baby anyway. But what I ended up doing was just I did kind of like a mishmash, like homage to all of them, and I had like Scary hair and shoes, and then I had like a Baby Spice necklace, and then I had a bodysuit that I think Jerry would wear, and like and pants that like Mel C, like I just put everything together, and I was like, this is just like my thing. And I will say, like, I was a little like people had costumes, but I feel like the Brits are such a reserved people that they didn't go for it in a way that Americans would have gone for it.
Oh yeah.
And so that
shit would have been Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, it was also terrible
That shit would have been Halloween in New York.
Yeah. And I was like shivering and I'm like, I can't even believe I'm not ill now. But and I also noticed that when I got there 6 hours early, the line was almost all men. And I was shocked. I mean, obviously gay men, but like I was shocked just because like initially the Spice Girls really weren't like gay icons. They were truly a band for young women, girls. Yeah. Like that's, and you know, I fucking love gay men, but it's just like there are so few things that are just for girls in the world that like I think that's one of the like that's why I liked it. Because when men are around, even if they're gay men, women do act differently. It's still you act differently around any type of man, and so that
agreed.
So that was a thing, and then also it just like bothered me that like women weren't showing the same loyalty. And then I'm like, well, this is why we're not ahead, guys. Like, because you're not in line 6 hours early, you know?
You're like,
this is why Hillary's not president.
This is why we're getting 75 cents to the dollar, because nobody's in line for the Spice Girls.
But I truly feel like, because I'm sure part of the reason why like the weather was really shitty. It's an unpleasant thing to do. It's not fun. It's not fancy. It's, you know, the same reason a lot of women aren't comics. And
I
because
think it's just like we all just grew up and you didn't.
No, because the rest of the stadium was all women when it filled in, but it was just like the people in the Spice Circle and the people who got there early, all gay men. Yeah. I guess mostly like people from like Brazil and stuff. Like the Latin heart is kind of unbeatable.
I love that we've like assumed the sleepover position.
Yeah, I couldn't sit anymore.
We're both just laying on our stomachs.
Oh, Alfred knows. He came
just
in.
like chatting.
Alfred bounced in because you know people are on the ground.
He knows what's up. So tell me about the moment when Mel C was singing Mama.
Thank you. You guys can follow along on my Instagram.
Yeah, you guys have to check out that video if you haven't
Well,
already.
I was so happy because, so I'm front row, so I'm getting great videos. And I really didn't want to be on my phone the whole time, but I just wanted to get like a snippet of like a couple things.
Yeah.
Because unlike other concert footage, I've actually watched this a ton of times already.
Yeah.
And like cried all over again.
Yeah.
But I just like anytime people were really, any of the Spice Girls were really spending time by me, I wanted to capture it. And throughout the concert, just like every song, I was more and more impressed with Mel C. And like, again, like I know I've seen her in concert as a solo artist at Irving Plaza because, they've all released solo albums and hers is like really very great. Northern Star is a great album. And there was just something about her. Like she even looked better than ever and she was always like fit and in shape. And like she was just emanating joy and looked happy to be there, and that she hadn't lost any of her vigor. I mean, these women are in their 40s. Like she just had incredible, like almost like a light surrounding her, and I couldn't take my eyes off of her, which was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting like to kind of be more obsessed with like Scary during this. And I love her and I love Baby, and but it's just like Mel C, just something, she's just like special. I think she's really come into her own. Yeah. And I think maybe like understands herself more now. Yeah. I don't know. And even like the things she did, they played this like 3-minute video, which maybe I'll send Mike to put in this because it's so beautiful, and I recorded the whole thing, and they're just talking about girl power. And what Melanie kind of says is she's like, thank you to the fans for making a normal person feel so special, which can be interpreted as like being down on herself, but I understand what she means because that kind of was why Mel was less interesting when I was a kid, and why to me she is one of the most interesting now. Yeah. Because she is normal, but normal isn't bad. Like, especially being in the entertainment business this long, you're like, no, normal's great. Yeah. Like if someone seems normal entertaining all the time, like they're something is very wrong.
That's why I love Justin. Mm-hmm.
He just does
Justin is a normal person who got insanely famous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not Yeah, I see like the same thing. Mel C's not wealthy. Like Victoria was wealthy the whole time. She was wealthy as a kid. Yeah, not wealthy the way she is now. Yeah. But like Victoria to me like always was like she had that like I am a superstar, and Mel really is like a girl with a beautiful voice who answered an ad. Yeah. Because the Spice Girls were formed literally from answering an ad in like the London's version of Backstage. And then just became this hugely famous person. Like you can say Sporty Spice and everyone knows who that is. Like that's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. And so I really, really, really liked that. And yeah.
What would you say you took away from the whole experience?
I mean, it was just a reminder of the impact that they've had in my life. Like I truly believe that anyone who likes me has to like the Spice Girls a little bit. Like you like the Spice Girls whether you know it or not. That's how big of a part they are.
Re-inspired my love for them when we did that show where we debated.
Oh, when I went nuts. Stand By Your Band?
Yeah.
Live?
It really did. Yeah, when we did Stand By Your Band live and you like defended the Spice Girls I was like, she's changing not changing my mind because I always loved them, but like you were reminding me of like moments that I remembered with like my little sisters just like dancing on my parents' bed, and like all of us dressing up and like being in like 6th grade and just like putting on like wearing Spice Girl clothes and being like, which one am I? And like never really being able to decide. And yeah, it just really, I don't know. When I watched that video, I was like, God, this is like, it does feel like otherworldly when you meet like your heroes like that, but you don't actually meet them. You're just like watching them do their thing. Yeah. Like to see Justin in concert would fucking change my life.
Yeah.
It would change my life.
We're going to hopefully make that happen. Yeah. Believe me, I have my eye on it.
Yeah. If he stops selling fucking Chinatown merch.
But, yeah, well, I mean, kind of piggybacking off what you just said, like, I think that's what that's why the Spice Girls are so special, because now I'm, I started liking them. I'm like 11, 12 years old. I still remember, like it was yesterday, the first time I heard Wannabe. I was doing my homework at this little tea table I had in my living room, in my bedroom. And I always had Z100 on my little radio. I have the same one that Clarissa has on it. Clarissa Explains It All. And this, it's Tell Me What You Want, What You Really Want comes on. And I like it like a movie. Like I dropped my pencil and just sat there. And I was like, what is this? Like, this is I've never heard anything like this. This is the best thing my ears have ever heard.
Yeah.
Who are these people? I need to know more about them immediately. And like the next day in school is all anyone was talking about, this song. Like how impactful. And it's like, now as a 33-year-old woman, I still can't even think of another band that brought women together the way they did. And the Spice Girls did it in a remarkable way, because they brought women together. They made you feel empowered but sexy at the same time, which I think is important, and it's overlooked in a lot of parts of feminism. Yeah, being sexy and feeling sexy and appearing is such a part of being a woman, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah. But they did it without men. Like, the Spice Girls had nothing to do with men. Like, even if they have a song that talks about relationships, like the core of all their music and stuff is truly friendship and being there for each other, and demanding respect. And it just, like, it had nothing to do with men. They didn't have videos. Like, I mean, like, it was, there's some guy in the Say You'll Be There video. He doesn't talk, and they literally, like, basically, like, kidnap him. And it's just, I can't think of another band who unites women in a way without men. Because even, like, Sex in the City is something where people were like, oh, I'm this one, I'm a Miranda, I'm a Carrie. But, like,
all they talked about was men.
Yeah, like that. They are united through their troubles in heterosexual relationships. And I think it's just something that is so missing. Because now there's a lot of feminism, but it's more of this, like, forced feminism. Like girl power, the way the Spice Girls fed it to us was feminism, and we didn't even know it was feminism. It was something good for it. Was like our mom pureed broccoli and put it in a cake, and we didn't even know. Yeah, like, that's what it is. And it's exactly a celebration of, like, sisterhood and womanhood, but not in a trite way. And even during this concert, as these women, they've been through a lot. Jerry's left, Victoria's not there. One thing I noticed in the press, they never said anything negative about Victoria. They included her. They said they understand she's not here, but, like, it was never, nothing cunty ever was said about her. Yeah. I mean, they did playful things, but, like, that's, like, some of their personalities. Yeah. And even fans, like, had shirts that were made that said, like, scary baby, sporty ginger, posh, but posh was crossed out. And, like, the girls would never do something like that. Right. And even on stage, they're playing, they're hugging with each other, like, things that are unnecessary if you don't actually like each other. Yeah. And so I think, like, just the way it was nostalgia for everyone there, it was nostalgia for them too. And it's just so beautiful to see. And it was funny because when I was, kind of, telling Christina, obviously, because she's my business partner, I have to, like, tell her when I'm going away. It's almost like I was, like, making an excuse for myself, like, to go on a vacation. And I don't need one, but I always feel guilty about it. And she was like, Corinne, you dedicated our book to the Spice Girls. Yeah. You gotta go. And I was like, oh, you know what? I had forgotten. I was like, you're absolutely right. I did. Yeah. I dedicated it to, like, my mom and the Spice Girls. And I mean it. Yeah. Like, I love them so much, and it's hard to explain. And I'm standing there and I'm like, it's like, and it's also the beauty of pop. I was thinking about it, and, like, these times when everyone is just so separated and angry at each other. And I was like, that's where pop music comes in. It's like this one thing we can all agree on. Yeah. Because the lyrics aren't that deep. They're not that meaningful, but that's important because, like, you kind of need to have this vagueness so that we can all agree on something. Right. If the lyrics are very deep, it's polarizing. People start picking them apart. Yeah. Yeah. Like, friendship, like, make it last forever, friendship never ends. Like, you'd have to be a sociopath to not agree with that. It's a very basic line.
I disagree. Yeah. Some friendships don't.
Yeah. Say You'll Be There. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I did. I kept, and there was, I kept momentarily like crying during it, but it was great. And like, I was standing next to this guy named Mark from Indonesia. He flew from Indonesia, which I asked him how long. He was like, it was one 13-hour plane and another like 5-hour plane.
Yeah.
By himself. He had never seen the Spice Girls before because apparently they had a gig booked in Indonesia at one point. It got canceled. They never came. And like, I was so excited that I was standing next to someone who had never seen them before. So, but was a huge fan.
Yeah.
So that I could experience that like first time joy with him. Like I took a selfie with him. I don't even fucking know this guy. Like I was so glad because I was originally by these other people and I literally made Tommy switch places with me because I didn't like their energy and they were going to ruin the concert for me. I was like, I need.
You're
to
like, please switch with me.
Yeah.
I can't.
And
I can't with these
I was
people.
just so much happier sitting next to, or standing next to this guy. But yeah, everyone. It was wonderful. It was everything I needed it to be.
That's beautiful.
And I'm so happy I went. And also, just a side note, Wembley Stadium is an amazing place to see a concert. The sound.
I'm so fucking happy you went.
Incredible.
This is crazy. Like I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to be this moved. I'm serious.
You know, I come in defending the Spice Girls like a lawyer.
No, I know, but like that's what I expected. So I was like, but I didn't expect to be moved.
Oh, there's vulnerability there too. Well, I mean, because I mean, like, I truly do feel like when I talk about them, like I can't let them down. Yeah. Even though they're never going to listen to this. And that's why part of the reason I like Adele, because she feels the same way I do about, like, she constantly talks about the Spice Girls. Emma Stone too.
Yeah.
And that's one of the few people, like, you know, you'll hear people talk about like Madonna and people like that. But the Spice Girls are up there because when you hear one celebrity constantly talking about another celebrity or celebrities, that's an impactful person.
Yeah.
Because if you are Adele famous and you're still fangirling over the Spice Girls, that's the power of the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah. And it just reminded me, I was like, I don't really have a lot of regrets in my life. And had I not gone to this, I would have regretted it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I went.
You're making me regret that I didn't go. Jesus Christ.
Well, you can fly to Australia.
Is it even worth asking you what's making you less lonely this week?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I feel like this whole episode was about...
Obviously, it's the Spice Girls.
God.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to say specifically Melanie C. I think it's good to like refresh and review and find new beauty in things that you've known for a long time. And like, I really have like just a new appreciation for Mel C, which is great because she's coming to New York and she's one of the performers for Pride. Yeah. So I'll get to see her again by herself. And I'm just so excited for that. God. Like, I mean, I
can I go?
To the Pride?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have to find out where she's playing, but I'll get you the info. I honestly feel bad for young women today who don't, like, they don't have the Spice Girls. Every generation needs the Spice Girls. And not a Spice Girls, they need the Spice Girls. We need to clone them and then every 20 years
the whole
recreate
thing
them again.
Yeah.
It's something that took the world by storm, like not like, and in just in a different way than any other group. It's not Beatlemania. Beatlemania had like heterosexual sexuality attached to it, and the only sexuality the Spice Girls had was your own sexuality that is based in feeling good about yourself. And like, if you want to dive deep into it, even like the fact that there was a sporty Spice, that like a member of a girl group liked to dress like a tomboy, and that's who she was, and they said okay, and they didn't try to sex her up. That in of itself, I'm sure, was so helpful to so many women and or girls at the time. Yeah, so,
I loved her.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what's making you feel less lonely this week?
You know, I listen. All right, I know how to talk. I discovered the group Why Don't We?
Okay.
Which is a boy group.
Ooh.
It is pop trash, and I fucking love it.
Oh, I'm always here for some trash.
If you haven't looked them up, you need to look up. Start with the song "Cold in LA." You need to start there.
Honestly, I like it already.
All right,
because I'm always cold in LA.
Yeah. Start with "Cold in LA" by the group Why Don't We?
Is it spelled weird?
No.
Okay, just
Why Don't We? Okay. No question mark at the end of it. Just Why Don't We?
Okay.
And just let me know. Just let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I've changed your life. And it's so good. It's so good. And I was listening to it on the way up here, and I was like, you know what? I've been listening to this group silently by myself for about 3 weeks now, and I haven't shared it on the podcast. And I was like, why haven't I? Why don't we?
Sometimes you need a few weeks with something special by yourself.
Why don't we share it on the podcast?
I like that it took you like saying that real slow in my face 3 times before I even got what you were doing. It's embarrassing.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Guys, thank you so much for listening to another real fanatical episode.
Sorry.
We have to announce that our fucking Just for Laughs.
God, yeah.
We almost forgot.
Right.
So, I mean, if you might have seen it on Instagram, but exciting news. Rosebud and I will be in Toronto for the Just for Laughs Festival.
Woo!
We are co-headlining a show as stand-up comedians. Well, we are stand-up comedians.
As stand-up comedians. Listen, we're going to try stand-up for the very first time.
And
each of us just trying to throw out a half hour, just seeing how we do. And we will also be doing a live fucking podcast
of 2 Less Lonely Girls
in the hometown of our hero, Justin fucking Bieber.
Canada, us, the Biebs. We hope you will join us.
Come to Toronto. I don't care if you live. I don't care if you live in the States.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a DUI, you can't drive into Canada, but just take a plane.
Right.
And come and fucking get your tickets now. JFL 42, Toronto, 2 Less Lonely Girls. September what?
I don't know.
You'll figure it out.
We'll post it. But yeah, if you look up our names, like we're one of there's only 42 artists that are a part of it. And so like it says Rosebud Baker and Corinne Fisher if you go to jfl42.com. But yeah, it's September in Toronto. It's like the week before my birthday. So like 21 or something around that day. And we're great at promoting. And yeah, I think the singular tickets are finally on sale now because it was just festival passes a couple weeks ago when we announced on Instagram. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Like, the live show, we've only done one live show of 2 Less Lonely Girls, and we did it for the New York Comedy Festival,
and it was fucking incredible.
It was therapeutic, it was cathartic, and I think we were both like surprised at how excellent it made us feel.
I mean, it was really magical. I can't wait to do it again.
I know. I was just like, it'll save you lots of money in therapy. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Just share the love, and follow us on social media. I'm at Philanthropy Gal.
And I'm at Rosebud Baker.
And our producer, Mike Coscarelli, is at Mike Coscarelli. And if you have any tips, just send them to us, either Instagram or Twitter. It's #TLLG tips. And
we love you.
Spice Girls, we love you.
Bye.
I just have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for, making a really normal person feel really special. And I just hope and I believe that the Spice Girls make everybody feel special because we're all the same. That's my belief.